speaking of Amazon, they've got all this new football coverage. I don't know whether you've managed to watch any of it yet.
So I watched so I ended up starting with the Man United game, Tottenham, which wasn't bad. Well, great start, obviously Rashford starting goal. I think the actual overall job that they did was really good. I think the problem that they have is because they're used to on demand.
Yeah,
they may not have the capability at the moment to be as current, being live.
Yeah.
Streaming, I think, on demand is just a lot different because obviously you've already got the data in the cloud or servers, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of bringing it down. Whereas if you're uploading, I guess it's like Twitch streaming or
it's essentially
YouTube
the same
streaming.
thing. Yeah.
You're having to upload as well as download, so obviously you're gonna do better when it's downloading.
See, I watched. I was working, so I didn't really get to see a lot of it. But there was someone at work who was watching the Man United Tottenham game.
Yeah.
So I kind of went in and out of the room to see what the score was and stuff. And he watches a lot of the games on a laptop at work. And Sky Go is what we usually use, or maybe BT Sport. And their streaming compared to the Amazon streaming is a lot worse quality. The quality of the Amazon was really good.
Brilliant.
There was no buffering.
No,
I think really smooth.
When
it was really good,
especially because I switched sort of between games. I watched Southampton Norwich for a bit.
What a tie!
Oh yeah, goals galore. But I mainly watched Man United Tottenham, and I think within the first 5 minutes it buffered a little bit. Yeah. After that, it was perfect.
Yeah, and so what we have at work usually,
I think literally the only problem is the fact that it was delayed by 30 to 60 seconds.
You saw it was delayed. See, I didn't realise that because I wasn't connected to Twitter or anything to tell me.
Because I wasn't on Twitter necessarily, but on people were saying that you've got notifications on BBC Sport or Sky Sports, and it had come through, and you're like, oh well, I hadn't seen that yet.
I've actually
which
seen that
is kind of a bit. But
of
then,
a spoiler.
I suppose you then just go, well, you know what? I'm watching the football. I'll disconnect myself from. I know that people like to be on Twitter and stuff, but I guess I think with time it'll be fine. But
I think this
as
year
a
for them,
standing point is brilliant. I think they've done really well.
This year for them is very much them starting off, isn't it? It's a taster. It's a little bit of a trial.
Yeah. What have they done before, which is actually live?
Nothing.
Exactly. So it's kind of like, well, you know what?
I don't think.
I wouldn't have thought there is any. They might have done tennis, but again, that's probably it's got a delay on it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I've never watched it.
No, I've not seen any of them do anything live. To be fair. So I feel like this is a starting point, and then if they go, okay, so we had an influx of people buying Amazon Prime memberships around December when we had these games on.
I think they
blah
did.
blah 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 blah.
I think they had loads of people signed up.
They will have, definitely. And we had this many concurrent viewers, yada yada yada. I think they'll then go, you know what? Let's try and make this a bit more of a frequent thing. You might not get them having every single game, which is what I like about it, because if you are a Newcastle fan who doesn't get to see their team on Sky Sports or BT regularly, unless they're playing a big team, then Newcastle aren't a big team. Time for you to admit this. Then
Man United.
Then you don't get to see them often. So to be able to pick any game you wanted was probably what drew people to it this month.
Potentially.
And I think if they can't continue that, then it's not worth it. That's what I'd say.
I mean, what I'm going to say is going to sound disrespectful, and it probably is, but no one turns on the telly to watch Burnley, do they?
No.
People turn on the telly to watch Liverpool.
One of my co-workers is a Burnley fan, and he probably would.
Yeah.
But apart from that, no, not many people do.
Even as a neutral, I'll watch Newcastle games, obviously.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't turn the telly on for anyone other than Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, Leicester, and then probably Arsenal for a comedic value. But other than that,
I mean, with Arsenal, you've got to have Twitter open at the same time as well to make sure you're taking the mick out of people as you watch it.
Simon.
But yeah, I feel like they have to have all the games available.
Yeah. And
otherwise, the attraction's not there.
They're the only people as well that I think can challenge BT Sport and Sky.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, obviously Jeff's got pure dollar, so
it's good.
I think they should give it a go.
I reckon they should, and I think the market that they could fall into is the 3 o'clock kickoffs, because you've got the midday kickoff, which is BT.
Yeah.
Then you've got the evening kickoff. Was that BT again? And then
Super
Sunday Sky.
I think it changes.
So I reckon.
I think a lot of it is Sky. Then you have BT every now and then. Obviously, they've got Champions League as well.
Yeah, but I reckon if you hit that 3 o'clock kickoff with what's there, like 5 games on a week at 3 o'clock.
I mean, say you've got like a standard Sunday, which is say 2, maybe 3 games.
Yeah.
That obviously leaves you another 7. You've got Monday Night Football, which it will have 1.
Yeah.
So you've got 6 left. Might have a Friday night, probably won't.
It'll be Saturday midday.
So what's that? 6. So then you've got one at lunchtime, one. So you're bound to have at least 3 or 4.
I reckon it's 4 or 5. It's 5 if there's no Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
So I reckon it's at least 4, if not 5. And if they could get those 3 o'clock kickoffs consistently,
and that's half of the Premier League fan base.
Yeah. That's half the matches that week.
Necessarily exactly half, because obviously more people support the teams.
But
you've got half of the teams playing. Like, that's ideal, really. I don't think anyone else would do it. Personally. You wouldn't find Sky opening up another 5 channels to then show, or 4 channels to then show every single game at the same time.
No, and their on demand is not their thing either. There's no real football on demand streaming thing.
I would only use
BT
Sport. I would only use for like Champions League highlights if I can't be asked to watch the games.
Yeah. So also one thing I found is they post it all on YouTube. So I watch it on there.
Yeah, that's again. Yeah.
Hours later, I'm not. I'm not bothered about watching it live.
You don't need to pay for it either.
No.
So
if I can watch Tottenham's 5-0 win in 6 minutes as opposed to 90, I'm probably going to do that. That's how I've watched my football over the last few weeks anyway, because I finish work at 10 o'clock each day, go to bed, and I'll sit there and watch the highlights, and it takes me half an hour as opposed to watching like an hour and a bit of match of the day. That's how I go about it these days.
Yeah.
But one thing I did like, one thing I thought I liked, so the guy who's watching it said, oh yeah, so like, so-and-so's just scored for Leicester. Yeah. I'm like, you're not watching the Leicester game? He's like, it's come out in the bottom corner.
Yeah.
And what I thought he meant was a clip has appeared in the bottom corner of the goal.
Right.
What he meant was a little alerts popped up in the bottom corner. Right. What they could do to make it better is do what I thought they had done, which is because they've got the coverage, they've got the rights to it because they're already streaming it on one of their other streams.
It would probably be quite quick for them to clip it as well, and just do like a quick.
Because if you're watching the United game, you don't care that you've seen the Leicester goal a minute and a half later.
No.
Like the fact that you're seeing that goal as well, I think they should do that.
Well, that might have like permutations for your team.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
if
let's say for example you're watching Liverpool, and you know that Leicester have got someone like they got Chelsea or someone, and you're thinking right, okay, they might drop points here. I want to know what the Leicester game's going to be.
Yeah.
So then you obviously want to keep tabs on both. So to have, I think it would be difficult to watch. You wouldn't want to watch 2 games at once. But I think, like you say, to have the clips come in, that'd be.
I think that again, they're at the start.
Sign us up, Amazon. Right?
Yeah, Amazon.
We know what we're on about.
Board of directors could be round this table, this special table.
You wouldn't fit many people around this.
Don't need more than us.
But
don't need more than us, mate.
I mean, we could record something and send it to them.
I reckon we could do post and pre-match analysis.
Yeah.
Although let's face it,
he scored.
He scored.
Goal.
Right foot that one. That was decent. That. I think True Jordan's probably got a better chance.
Basically, he went past 5 players, and then he put it in the back of the net,
and that's a goal. And it turns out they scored more goals than the other team, and that means they won the game.
Facts.
Top statistics.